All right, are we recording?
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome back to episode 15, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, episode 15. I'm Susan.
I'm Jordan.
And here we go.
Yes.
So, yeah, I told you I was going to wait until we got on to tell you this. So, yesterday I went with Jaden to go get a car.
Yes.
First of all, that wasn't planned. His transmission blew out on his old car. We went to go get him. Do you remember we took that road trip to go get him towed back?
Yes.
So he's going to be going back to school here soon, and needs a car, obviously.
Okay.
And so they had warranty on the car still, but this is the crazy thing. They were like, okay, we'll fix it. It's like almost $6,000 for the transmission, which is insane. And they're like, we'll fix it, but you have to give us, I think it was like 14 records of oil changes, including air filter changes, coolant changes.
For the warranty, for something like that, yeah.
Do you keep all your records?
No, that's how they get you.
Okay. So to me, that's always like, that's crazy. And I was like, there's no way to get around that.
The only way to get around that is if you have a new car, your car would be like, all of those things would be on Carfax. You just have to pull up the Carfax on your VIN.
Yeah. So the guy was just like, I think Jaden he was missing 9 of the 14 required things, which is still a lot. Like, it's crazy. And so he's just like, this isn't going to happen, right? Like, and I was like, probably not. So there was no plan to like sit and get him another car. We were just going to go talk to them about the warranty. So then he's just like, well, what would you guys give me for the trade-in for like that car? And then it just kind of like snowballed from there. Then they're like, well, let's show you guys some cars. And so long story short, from noon until about 7:30 yesterday, we were at the dealership. Well,
yeah,
he
that's,
like looked at cars, test drove a couple, found a beautiful car. Was super excited for him. It was his first car like on his own. So he's like super, super excited. Got him down to like a reasonable, like out the door total sticker price. Cause dealerships love to be like, oh, your monthly payment is going to only be this. But then they jack up the price of the car, and they jack up like the amount of months that you're buying it, that you're paying for it. So that you're like, oh, well, I technically only want to pay 20 grand for that car. But then they get you for 25, and they're like, oh, it's 84 months. Your payment is only this much. So they make it, the numbers seem right, but they're not. And I was like, no, I was like, we need that base price right out the door. I was like, we don't need anything extras. Like he needs something that's affordable. So super excited about that. He had his dad's car, so he had to go back home, drop his car off. I went to go get him. Jalen and I went to go get him. She got out of work. And then we took him to go get his car. And then afterwards we're like, we should go eat. Because you know how those days go. Like, you're tired. Like, it was long. We had an eating
at the car dealership all day.
Yeah, I was like eating like snacks and just like whatever. And so
like vending machine food.
Yeah. Shit. So we go and we have dinner. We have a really good time. And then we're headed back. And I told him, I was like, let me because you know me, I record and take pictures of everything. I was like, let me record you driving away because it's sick. Like the rims look so good. Like they're like a steel gray with the deep blue. And I'm not a big fan of blue cars, but this blue is like a nice blue. And so like, I was just like, okay, I was like, we'll get like video of you taken off. And so we're just like watching his car, and we end up on, is it Palmer Park and Powers?
Okay.
You know where that Walmart is? Powers?
Yes.
Okay. So it was like at that intersection. So we're like just,
oh yes, okay.
We're just like slow, and there's that Taco Bell in the corner, and then there's
they're building
Wendy's
the Bassett across
the
street.
So we're coming to that stop. Jaden's on the far end, and we're on the complete total opposite end.
Okay.
And we're obviously looking at his car, we're watching it, and it's coming to a stop, and then all of a sudden, like just like this chaos, just like craziness, you hear like all the crunch of like metal. We just see this car just like go like on the side and hit the pole. But because it was right behind Jaden, and that car was going, it had to have been going like 70, 75 miles per hour. And I was like, did he get hit? Oh my God, did he get hit? And all you see is just dust and smoke and everything. And I'm like, I froze. I'm like freaking out. So we're on the far end of the lanes. I literally cut, thank God it was a red light, cut straight across and park on the side and run. I see Jaden get out of his car. So I was like, okay, so that means he's okay. He goes on to the other end of the lady's car, pulls her out, because she's trying to get out. He like pulls her out, puts his arms underneath her, pulls her out. There's debris everywhere. Like there's shit everywhere. Other cars that's like a couple other cars that like stopped. And like I run around to the other end and he's just kind of like standing there and he's like, I didn't know what to do. She's standing there and is pulling stuff out her car. And I hadn't yet seen her. I'm really, really like blood and that kind of thing like freaks me out. So I hadn't yet seen her. And she turns around and all I see is her entire arm is just like covered in blood. She's got it all over her hair, her face. It's just everywhere and just shards of glass all over it. And I turn around and look at Jaden and I was like, you just pulled her out. And I look at him and he's got her blood on him. He's got it on his shorts. And I was like, don't touch anything. So I like run to my car, grab hand sanitizer, grab a shirt. I'm like wiping him down, wiping him off. And I was like, how the hell does she miss your car? I'll show you the picture. And so like, of course we're standing there. They're like getting, so, I mean, the crazy thing is that, and it just goes to show like how quickly life can change, right? So this was him like at the restaurant. So that's his car. Like I love.
I'm forgetting what time it was when this happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
shit. Okay.
He's like taking off, right?
That's a beautiful car.
It's a stunning car. I'm so proud of him and I'm so happy for him. So I'm like taking video, like sending to him. He's just like, okay, mom. Like we even got video of him like, because I was trying to show him. I was like, you don't know what your car looks like when you're driving it. You know what I mean?
Because that shit is
it's clean.
Nice.
It's clean. So then this is us literally headed towards that. And then this is like the next thing that happens. Like this was the, you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see it like from the front.
Damn. That's crazy. So is this that lady? Who is this? Like, who was driving?
So she was already, let's see which
anybody?
video it is. She's over here because she took off. She was walking away. So that's where his car ended up because he pulled up. That's where hers was. But there was like no, like the fact that he was able to,
Go back to it.
where is it?
I was trying to rewind. That's crazy. First of all, damn.
So
Oh
here's
my God.
where is the front? Oh, here's the front end of it.
Holy shit. She's going fast as hell.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That impact
Oh
to
yeah,
cause that
she
much
took
damage.
out one of like the pedestrian like walking signs that was in the middle of the road. There
At
was
least she didn't
like,
take out a pedestrian.
yeah, there was debris everywhere. So like we went from
This bitch.
yeah, I know. Well, and we were completely like out of it at that point. So it was crazy because you've seen the movie The Incredibles, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I told Jaden, I was like, other than God, like this is God's protection. And we just kept saying it over and over again. Other than God, there's no reason why she should have avoided him. Like she was clearly under something. Like because she was out of it. And I told him, I was like, because if he had been hit, we had a front row seat to that shit. That would have been traumatizing as hell. Like I don't know what we would have done. Like we were just already freaking out. The crazy thing is that like right before we ate, we prayed and they were laughing at me because I was like, thank you God for today, for like the blessings, for like family. I was like, and thank you for Jaden's car. Like bless his car. They both started laughing at me. I was like, it's not funny. I was like, it's a good thing. But like, in The Incredibles when is it Violet that gets the little bubble, the invisible shield bubble around them to protect them? I swear to you, that's what it looked like. Because like as she's barreling down to come, I was like, there's no way that she is not going to hit him. And that's why like I was so confused in the middle of everything. But it literally was like there was a bubble. All he had was dust on his car. That's it.
That's crazy.
That's it. Not one single scratch, like nothing. And so like my brain has been like, I was trying to sleep last night and I just kept like having these dreams of like him getting hit and being like, where is he? And I'm like looking for him and freaking out. And I know that because it's a pretty serious accident. I know that in the bigger scheme of things, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. Like the lady walked away. She actually walked down the street and some other car picked her up. And so like the cops were like, did anyone get a description of her and this and that? And I was just like, obviously. A, trying to make sure first that Jaden was okay, and then B was like, what the hell just happened? Like, we're trying to process everything.
But did anybody get a picture, anything of her?
They did. There was another lady there that was being super fucking annoying, and she just like, she says to Jaden, which I was about to lose my shit. So everyone's just kind of like, oh my God, this and that. And, you know, there's always got to be the one that knows everything and, you know, this and that and blah, blah, blah. And so this woman was not small, by the way. And she goes, she looks at Jaden and she goes, I can't believe she's like, you're so strong. I can't believe you were able to pull her out. She's a big old fat woman. And that lady talking was not small. Like, she was large. And I'm looking at her like, do you own a mirror? Because you shouldn't be calling people shit like that. Like, A, you don't know her situation. Yeah, this is stupid of her. I get it. But shut your fucking mouth. And then she does this bullshit. She goes, fun fact, you should never pull anybody out of an accident like that, because if their neck is broken, you can kill them. And Jaden goes, she was already coming out. like, first of all, it's like, why the fuck do people feel the need to like tell you what to do in situations like that? Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. And I like looked at Jaden and I looked at Jalen and I turned around and I was like, let me shut my fucking mouth. Let me shut my mouth. Because I was about to be like,
was she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was about to, yeah. No, she was. And I was about to be like, can you shut the fuck up? Like, because she just kept, and she could tell she was getting annoyed. Like, she was being annoying. Then the cops the firefighters show up, the cops show up. They had to take our statements. And so Jaden was the main one. Because Jaden was the one who almost got hit. He was the first one on the scene, like, out of anybody. Like, I know there were other people that were like, oh my God, if she would have gone this way, she would have hit us. Nobody
Because people are fucking retarded and everybody's just like.
Everyone wants to be a part of it. And so then the cops show up and that lady's like, well, this, and this, and this. And then Jalen looks at me and she goes, they need to be talking to Jaden because he's the one that like saw everything. So then the cop comes over and the cop is asking Jaden questions. And he's like, what color was her hair? And then Jaden's like, it was like a blondish brown. And the lady's like, it was blonde. And she keeps answering. And I was ready to turn around and be like, can you shut the fuck up? Yeah. And the officer looks at her and he goes, I'm talking to him now. Wait your turn. Like, she just wanted to be a part of the conversation. She looks at Jalen at one point. She goes, I love your hair. I know this is so weird in this situation, but I love your hair. And
Jalen's awkward ass.
Yeah, I know. And then we're like, because I'm looking at her like, bitch, don't talk to us. And then her, like the other, I guess it was other people that she was with.
Okay.
They walked to Taco Bell to get food while they waited for the fucking cops to show up. And I'm like, you're hungry right now?
Yeah, you're hungry. You almost just
like,
saw
you went to go get your fucking Cinnabon
massacre.
bites. Yeah, those are good, but you went to go get those Cinnabites?
The Cinnabites are blessing.
But that's your first thought. Let me go walk my fucking dumbass across the thing to go get some Cinnabites and then come back with my fucking Taco Bell shit.
That's crazy.
Like, what? And the crazy thing about it is, like, so I obviously cut straight across to go, because otherwise then I would have had to keep going. And, like, you know, there's not really, like, an exit unless you're taking the exit. Like, I would have had to have gone all the way around. So I was like, shit, I got to get over there and make sure he's okay. And I would have honestly just thrown my hazards on and left my car there and, like, walked across. Like, I was not leaving that scene. But we had our cars parked, like, on the side where that median was. The amount of people driving by yelling, you're not supposed to park there. Why are you parked there?
I fucking hate this.
Or like somebody was like, okay, you fucking bitches. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
My thing is, I feel like that's a Colorado thing. People in Colorado are dicks, and it's the worst it's ever been.
I've seen it happen. It's slowing down again. Do you think it's going to cause an issue?
Yes. That's so stupid. Okay. But anyway. Okay, we're recording.
All right. So we're back. A couple of little technical glitches, but
my battery was dying.
Yeah, the battery was dying. We're good. We're all set. We're all charged. But I guess just kind of wrap up the conversation with the accident. It was insane. It was definitely protection from God that, like, literally, like, even the driver of that walked away without, well, I don't know what happened to her, but you know, I hope they find her. And it's crazy because, like, more and more, like, you see how recklessly people drive for no reason. She probably
stole that car. If we're being real, she was out of it. She was driving fast as fuck. And she got out of the car and got into someone else picked her up, right?
That's possible.
It's
I
like
mean, your theory is actually
that's
yeah.
probably what happened. She was probably high, stole that car, wrecked it, ditched it, had somebody come pick her up, and now she is they're gonna arrest the person that picked her up because the street cam probably picked up the license plate of the car
You
that picked
know,
her
the
up.
officers didn't seem that concerned about finding her.
Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, they were like, because somebody was like, she just went down that way and they picked her up. You guys should go look. And they're like, yeah, but then we'd have to like find her and we'd have to bring her back and you guys would have to
sounds so
identify
fucking
her.
dumb.
Yeah, they were like, you guys would have to identify her. And we're like, okay. I mean, we're all kind of standing here. And I mean,
Like in a lineup, that's cool.
no, we were not in a
No,
line.
I mean like you would have to identify her in a lineup.
Oh,
Like,
I don't know how that works. I mean, we
Yeah.
wrote statements, so
that's fucking sick. if
yeah,
you
we
would
wrote
have-
statements, and then it was just like, I don't know. It was crazy. Yeah, I recognize that frizzy hair. Wait, put blood on her hand so I can recognize her better. I don't do like the details and stuff of her face. Like I couldn't see it. She just reminded me. Everything felt like on. I reference cartoon movies a lot when I think about things.
Says
Like,
a lot about you.
What does that say? Said you're a child.
We literally have stitches between the two of them.
I mean, okay, but like I feel like they're good references for a reason. So you know Zootopia,
Yes.
what is it? The sloth, how he moves like super slow.
You're like,
Okay, so that's
how
what,
that shit
yeah,
looked
that's
when
how the
it
camera
started
was going.
glitching.
So that's how it felt like she was moving. Like when she was in her car, she was like this,
She was-
and I'm sure her adrenaline was still running, but she wasn't saying anything at all. And that's when I was like,
she's probably on fentanyl.
she was on something, and that's when Jaden was like, they were like, somebody goes, he's a hero, he pulled her out, and then that girl's like, fun fact. I'm like, shut the fuck up, you dumbass bitch. Like, oh,
He honestly is though, because a lot wrong could have happened of her.
well, because
staying in
they
the car.
asked him, they were like, could you smell alcohol? And he goes, honestly, all I could smell was the car, like the fumes and the oil, and which is fair, right? Like, and the other lady's like, she smelled like alcohol. Well, the truth is, like, by the time I got around to where Jaden was, the smoke and everything had already died down. The smell was still there, but it was like still strong enough that you could smell it. That's why I'm like, this lady's full of crap. Like, could she really smell alcohol on her? Like, you're literally pulling her out. But yeah,
she probably didn't smell like alcohol. She probably
I mean, she could have been on some kind of who knows, right? Who knows? It's like, and one of the firefighters goes, whatever she was on probably saved her life. He's like, because that's what ends up like keeping them calm. And
that's what happens when, because there's just this guy that I listen to often. He talks about when he was young, he was in a car accident and he flew out of the car, but he was drunk as fuck. And the people at the hospital told him that if he wasn't like so wasted, his body, like the reactions of his body would have like killed him.
yeah,
It's just he was so numb to it, he didn't feel the pain, so the responses of his body, like it kept his heart pumping and all that shit. And I was like,
that was my brother. So he walked out in front of a Jeep and he was on 5 or 6 different things. Like my oldest brother, you know this story, right?
no,
You didn't know that?
no,
So my oldest brother when the whole COVID shit went down.
what?
Yeah. You didn't know this?
No, that's 4
So-
years ago. That's not long.
Yeah, so he chose to be homeless because my brother's always had a
knew
very,
that
very
part.
bad like alcohol addiction. And so we knew he had somehow gotten from Pueblo up here to the Springs. My sister and I had looked for him at all these different homeless places, like hangouts. We couldn't find him. And so we knew he was here in the Springs. We didn't know where. And then all of a sudden it was 3 days into them being like, schools. Do you remember like spring break lasted longer? Like it started early because
During
of COVID. Yeah.
I believe that, but I wouldn't remember
So
that.
it started early because they sent everyone home, and then they were like, yeah, we can't, like, this is a real thing.
Yeah, because those fuckers, I think I do remember that, because they didn't really come back from spring break.
No, nobody
They
came back
left
from
and
spring
did
break.
not come back.
Yeah,
I
and so
remember
they
that.
were like this, like, we're just not coming back. Come back after spring break. And then they sent the teachers a message and they were like, we're not coming back. Like, this is probably not going to happen. And we're like, what the hell? So anyway, my other brother, because I have two older brothers. My other brother called. We were 3 days into it, and I was grabbing food from Roll Up Food Truck, which they have the best food. Like it's just it.
Do they have tamales?
I don't think so, but they
I
have.
really need some.
They've been doing all their like. We just need to make them. I told you, we just need to all get together one day, just make them.
In my eye.
So anyway, I'm like getting food from there, of course, and my brother calls and he's like, "Hey, I have some bad news." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Ruben got hit by a car." And he's like, "I'm pretty sure he's not going to make it. Like they're saying he's like, it's bad." And I was like, what do you mean?" And he's like, "He's at Memorial." He's like, "We were headed up." He's like, "I called Suli, my sister who lives in Denver." So then, I called my sister and we were just like, they basically told us like, go home. We got on the phone with like the ER, like surgeons. Is your eye good?
Yeah. Ooh, it's like eyelash or something. That shit hurt.
I hate that feeling.
Especially with the contact.
Yeah. It feels like glass. But they were like, you guys are going to have to come. Like she gets on the phone with all of us and she's like, he's internally decapitated. So the only thing keeping his head on his body were like the ligaments. Like everything was separated. His hips are shattered. His lung is collapsed. His spleen is punctured. Like basically anything you can think of internally, he was fucked up. And so she's like, if he survives, he will be a vegetable forever. She's like, but we don't think he's going to survive. He's not going to make it. And we're like, oh, God. And so my brother's like, just wait until I get there. I was like, no, I'm going there now. I was like, Sammy and I are getting in the car. We're going to go see him. I'm on the phone with Tyler and I'm like sobbing. I'm like, I have to go say goodbye to my brother. Like he's not going to make it. Like, and he's just like, what? And he's like, I'm getting on a flight right now. Like, he's like, I'm coming out there. And he literally, I think he was at work. He literally drove home, packed a bag in like 10 minutes and drove to the airport and flew out here because he was like, you're not going to deal with this on your own. So I get to the hospital and Sammy and I were the first ones there. My brother's coming from Pueblo. My sister's coming from Denver. And they led us back into the emergency room. And they were like, just so you know, like he's got lice because he's been homeless. Like, so don't get too close. Like they made us put the gown on. And she's like, he's not responsive at all. And like we walk in and everything was just kind of dark. And I was like, Ruben, we're here. And like nothing. And Sammy and I were like, and it was the same room that Sammy and I saw his cousin in. So when his cousin was 14, he got into a dirt bike accident and he wasn't wearing a helmet or any gear, like at all. And so when we went to go see him, it was in that same exact space or whatever. And when we walked in, like there was stuff coming out his nose and we were like, what is that? And I asked the nurse, she goes, that's his brain matter coming out. And he died the next day. So Sammy had a really hard time with that. So it was the same space. It was like all these triggering moments. So then they tell us to come back out. They're like, we're going to get the chaplain so that they can come in. The family can come say goodbye. And then we're going to take him off like life support. We're going to take him off all the machines. So then we're waiting for my sister and everyone to show up. So everyone shows up. We're sitting there. The OR surgeon comes back and is like, this is bad. Like, how long has he been homeless? How long has he been doing this? And we're like, we've tried everything we could. Like, we didn't know. She's just like, it's so hard. She's like, I get it because I've been there. She's like, I have family like that. She's like, I'm sorry. She's tearing up. Like, she's just having a hard time. She's like, we'll get him ready. For her. Yeah. She goes, we'll get him ready. We're waiting for the chaplain. We'll come back. So we're all just sitting there like, oh my God, like, are you serious? Like, why can't anything ever be fucking normal with this family? And it's like, we're just having conversations. And then it was like, you know what, if anyone can survive this, it would be Ruben. Like, cause he's just, we always say he's like a cat. He has 9 lives and whatever. And so then 2 hours pass and we're like, why is this taking so long? She comes back over and she goes, we don't know what's going on. She's like, but we went in. She's like, and we were getting him ready for you guys. She goes, and we were like, because they keep calling their name over and over again. And I guess they were like, Ruben. And they were like, Ruben, your family's here. Ruben. And I guess he gave the thumbs up. And she was like, he was not supposed to have been able to do that.
That's so weird.
Then, yeah. So because they were about to take him off the machines. She goes, and so then they started running all these different tests on him. And she was just like, it's up to you guys. And we're like, no, if he's responding, do not take him off of anything. Like, it's not for us to do. Like, if God wants to take him, he's going to take him. And so then we all go back and we see him. And then because of COVID, we couldn't visit him in the hospital past that. So everything had to be on a tablet, on an iPad. And so every single night we would call at the same time. Everybody would get on Zoom And we'd all be like, Ruben, we're praying for you. We love you. We miss you. Like, if you're in there, you're like, listen to us. We can hear you. My niece and my nephew would pray for him. And I noticed that every single time they would say a prayer, you could see small like movements in his face. Like it was weird. And we would have meetings with like the surgical team, and they were like, he's not going to be functional. He's going to be a vegetable. He will never eat. He will never walk. He will never talk. He will never recognize you guys. It's not going to happen. And we're like, we just have to keep praying. Like, we don't know what to do. We don't know what else to do. And so then one day, this was probably like a month after, we're on the Zoom with him, and the chaplain was always very like animated, and we would pray, and then everyone would get off the phone call, and the chaplain would always be like, hallelujah, praise the Lord, hallelujah, praise the Lord. And so we were getting ready to get off the call, and the chaplain's like, hallelujah. And then I heard another voice like literally shout hallelujah. And I was like, the fuck was that? And I go, wait, stop. I was like, who was that? And he's like, oh, praise the Lord, that was Ruben. It was my brother. And my brother always had a hard time with God when we were younger, because we were Catholic. When we would go into the church, like if you'd put holy water on him, he'd be like, it burns. I don't like it. It burns. Like he hated church and God. And the first word out his mouth was hallelujah coming out of this. And then it was like, are you kidding me? And he's like, he opened his eyes. He just shouted hallelujah. We're like, what the hell? So then every day after that, he started to regain more like consciousness, more awareness. And so then like what was crazy is that he was able to still figure us out on an iPad in little, you know how it goes, in the little squares. And he was still like, hi sis, hi my Sammy, hi brother, hi. Like he would say hi to everybody. And then at one point he was like, I'm so hungry. And he's like, sis, can you bring me some food? And my sister's like, yeah, Ruben. He's like, no, I want Susan's food. And then I was like, Ruben, you can't eat right now. They had him on obviously liquid diet, like IV or whatever, but like even his water had to have thickener in it because of all the damage from the internal decapitation. He couldn't swallow correctly. So then they loosened up the restrictions a little bit, and we were able to go see him. And because I lived here, I literally spent my entire summer at that hospital every single day visiting him. The only time I got a break was if my sister went or if my brother went, and that wasn't that often because it's not a far drive, but my sister has kids and it is what it is. It's whatever. Or if Sammy went, and I like got to see him like sitting up for the first time, taking steps for the first time. And then there were a couple of times where I like would wheel him out, and we would just stare at like the view of all of Pikes Peak, and we would just sit there. And like he had to be told a lot of things over again. So like at one point he goes, when's mom going to come visit me? And nobody wanted to tell him. And I was like, Ruben, mom died. Like, she's not with us anymore. So I got to watch him relive her death, grieving that all over again, like sobbing, like, I can't believe she's dead. I'm so sorry. And I was like, why are you sorry? And then he would call me. He'd be like, you didn't tell me she died. And then I was like, yes, I did, Ruben, I promise you. I'm like, but she's okay. Like, she's in heaven. And he would just cry for her every single day. Then he got over that and was okay. And then he goes, where's dad? And I'm like, can you fucking ask for somebody who's alive? Because like, now I have to tell you he's dead too. And then he asked for one of his old dogs, and I was like, he's dead too. Like, all these people you're asking for are gone. So his memory went back to years. Like he lost chunks of time as far as like his life. So he would ask for them. And then I mean, there were conversations that we had that were kind of funny, where like one day I had him in the car because he then got transferred to another facility where he's been since then. And he doesn't walk. He doesn't walk, but he has
close to Memorial?
No, he's all the way in Brighton.
Oh, okay.
And
Where's
so
Brighton?
It's past Denver. It's a shithole town. And so he like slowly started to regain things, and like all the books he wanted to read were about God and about like, it was interesting because like he all of a sudden had this faith and this belief in God. And so then I would go pick him up.
It's probably because he saw him.
Yeah, probably. I would go pick him up. And I remember one time we were in the car and I was like, Ruben, do you remember this? And it was Tupac, because he loved Tupac. And he's like, yeah. And he's like just jamming out. And he goes, is he dead too? Just like, yeah. And then Michael Jackson comes on. He's like, oh, I love MJ. And he goes, is he dead too?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, he is. And so I think reliving those things with him was like, when I tell people, like, I know everybody has a story, like everybody has a story, but like my life, Aaron always jokes about it. He's like, your life is like a Greek saga. He goes, because I'll go like a week or two without talking to him, sometimes longer depending on how busy we get. He goes, every single time I talk to you, he goes, I laugh the hardest. He's like, when we have our conversations, because it's just funny shit. He goes, you can be telling me the most upsetting story. He goes, and you will find a way to laugh or make it funny. He goes, but there's always something that's going on. I was like, and it's not that I'm looking for it or intentional. It's like, it's just the shit that happens. So I guess back to the original point of that with my brother was that he was on so many drugs and so many substances that when he got hit by the car, his body was like, just like moldable. So he, like, your natural reaction when you're going to get hurt is to like stiffen up. So then your joints are all stiff. But because he was so damn high, his body was just kind of like relaxed. So he's like a little rag doll and he just got tossed. They said that that's what allowed him to survive.
That's crazy.
So yeah, internally decapitated. And this was in the middle of me. That was the year that I split my time at the high school and the middle school. So I had to do the middle school end of the year slideshow that I always did. And like that took hours to do.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Damn, you did that for a long time.
I did. And then the high school reached out to me and was like, because they weren't going to do graduation. They were like, it's just going to be the video. And all these companies were quoting them $10,000 to $15,000 to make a graduation video. And they're like, can you do it? And I was like, yeah. So here I was like with my brother literally dying. Like, well, I thought he wasn't going to make it, making both of the videos, like making sure. And then they asked me to do like retirement videos and all this other shit. And the first thing out one of the administrators' mouth at the middle school, not good job on the slideshow. We know, and they knew that I was going through that shit with my brother. Like they knew I had stuff going on. Somebody told somebody, and during one of our Zoom meetings, they're like, oh, you know, Susan's brother, you know, he's came out of the coma. And I was like, why are you spreading my business? Like, that's not what I wanted. I had close friends that knew, but I'm like, that wasn't for everybody to know, but it was whatever. First thing out of this administrator's mouth, not good job. Are you okay? How are you doing? Was you left a kid out of the video and their parents are upset. Ask me if I fucking care. Like, do you know, like the high school graduated, I think that year was like 430 kids. I had to have 3 pictures for every single one of them. Really? Plus their name spelled correctly. Yeah, because their parents submitted photos. Plus then a slideshow at the end. Plus the speech from the principal, speech from the valedictorian, the speech from the school board president. I had to put all that together with lower thirds. Like, it's not an easy task. And the high school was super appreciative about it, but the middle school was like, that's when I was like, this place is not for me. Like, this is crazy. Bullshit. And I said to her, I sent her a message and I was like, I'm disappointed that the first thing out of your mouth is you left this kid out rather than being like, you know what? You did a good job. Like, I know how hard this must be for you. But I think that people can't have that kind of understanding unless they go through the shit. Mm-hmm. Because it's easy to be like, oh, her brother's in a coma. Oh, like she doesn't have parents. She had like, she's got this, like she's a single mom, you know, like she lost her mom to suicide. Like people know things about me because I share it. But like, it was after that I was like, I'm just another name on their list of employees.
That's heavy. You're a great storyteller.
It's just, but it's life. You know what I mean?
It's just like when you tell stories, it's just so vivid. Like, I can see it. It's fucking crazy.
The insanity around it all, I think, has just been like, sometimes when I look back, I'm like, oh my God, like I went through that, or like we battled that, or we went through this, or like just the lessons in all of that shit. One of the craziest parts of it, I was coming back from Memorial and I was pissed because I was like, I'm literally spending my whole summer in the hospital because he made this choice. Like, don't get me wrong. I love my brothers, but they've always made life difficult because they've made stupid choices, and they're, you know, it's whatever. It is what it is. And I was so upset, and I don't typically listen to the radio. Like, you know, everyone's like plugged into their aux. They listen to their own shit. And for whatever reason, I was just like so zoned out, and I was mad. I was like super pissed. I was like crying And I was just like, God, like, why do you put these people in my life? Like, why is this my brother? Why don't I have a brother who protects me, who loves me, who guides me, who encourages me? Why don't I have that? Like, why did you give me these brothers? And, you know, why don't I have parents to help raise the kids that they brought into this world? Because even when my mom was alive, she didn't want to deal with my brother. I was the one who had him in my house, detoxing him until there was a room for him in rehab. The amount of times I put him in rehab and spent money on that shit is insane. Like, I could have like bought multiple houses outright at this point, because it was like money after money after, and pouring it into cell phones, and we're going to get him sober. And it's like, when you want more for somebody than they want for themselves, it's so fucking hard. Like, it's just frustrating. So I'm in the car and I'm like, just pissed off. I'm like, I'm a single mom. I like, why is everything so hard for me? And I was just feeling sorry for myself. I was upset. And it happened to be like a Christian radio station that was on. And for whatever reason, like, I just stopped and I was listening, and they were talking about some story. I don't even know what the story was that was attached to it. And the response that this guy gave this girl, he goes, you know, sometimes God brings you to your knees to get your attention. He will take everything out from under you in order to get your attention, in order to make you realize that like all you need is him. And I thought about that and I'm like, he literally took my brother's legs from him. Because I can tell you this, if my brother could walk right now, even in the state that he's in, the first place he'd go to would be to the liquor store. His addiction is that strong. And so the fact that he can't walk, there's a blessing in that. This is the longest known address I've ever known him to have.
Really?
Yeah. I've never known his address this long, ever.
That's crazy.
And so, I mean, he's 4 years in. He went in before he was 50 years old. His life is just, he lays in bed, he watches TV, he reads books, smokes his cigarettes, but
I smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he still doesn't really take care of himself. And I guarantee you, and I've told everybody this, if he could walk, he would walk to the liquor store. That's his number one love. So like, addiction is crazy. And I've seen it on such a deep end that I'm like, it's sad. Because I mean, people always say like, oh, he doesn't love his family because if he did, he wouldn't do that. I'm like, he doesn't love himself.
Uh-huh.
That's what it is.
I told you when I was little, and a family member of mine used to drink very heavy. Mm-hmm. He would, I don't know if I ever told you that he would walk, like him and I would walk to the liquor store.
Yeah.
That shit, looking back on it, like since he's okay now, it's kind of funny to think about for me, like, because it didn't end badly. That's why I giggle a little bit thinking about it, because I'm like, that's just crazy that was normal.
Yeah.
Like, because I remember being very young, and it was as hot as it was today. It was like hot as shit outside and sunny, beaming down the middle of the day. We walked from our house to the liquor store, which was close by, but still, that's a close drive. It wasn't a close walk. It was probably a 20-30 minute walk just so you could go get some beer, take that shit back home and get fucking litty. And then, but I was just lucky enough that, because he was in the position to take care of me. Like, he was the only one that was watching me, because like my mom was at work, like everybody else was
doing something else.
Mm-hmm, it wasn't too many people in my life that could take care of me, which reminds me, I wanted to talk to you about something. Yeah, it's just crazy to think about.
The one thing I learned after having put him in so many rehabs is that there was a therapist who said to me, he goes, the most difficult addiction for anybody to get over is alcohol addiction.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, that is the one. He's like, people come in, you know, on all these different things that they're addicted to. He's like, heroin, you know, you name it. He's like, alcohol is the most difficult one for them to get past. And like, I mean, I remember I think this was the last time I dropped him off at rehab. He had like it wasn't even a pint. It had to have been a handle of like the cheapest like Skull vodka or something. Ew. And then he would take the big cups like from like Loaf and Jug 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm. Like a big gulp.
And then just pour the whole thing in it. And he just drank it.
Like juice.
Drank it like it was nothing. I mean, like downed it outside of the rehab center. And I was like looking at him like, are you serious? He had to do he had to write a goodbye letter to alcohol. Like that was a part of his rehab. And so like we went in because they invite the family to come in, and he was just like, yeah, he's like, when my crazy sister was like, we're taking you to rehab, I was like, what is she doing? What's gonna happen? And he's like, I'm so glad that she brought me here. And he was sober for a minute after that. My mom was super offended because she wasn't mentioned in the letter, and I was like, you weren't a part of it. I had him in my house. He almost burned my house down because he left like my burners on in my kitchen. I had a gas stove, and he left the burners on, and he left like paper on the counter. So like it was like inches, and I was like, you could have made me like literally like
Lose
everything, including like, I mean, there's so many other stories with him and things where he's been found and we thought he was dead. And I mean, it's been hard, which is why like I'm like I've had to learn how to love some of these people from a distance, because even my other brother, where it's like it hasn't been as destructive, but it's been as destructive, just in a very different way. But yeah, no, the whole keeping your body malleable, that's what's kept him alive. And I think, people are like, it's crazy that he's alive, and I was like, there's a purpose for him. God is teaching him, that he's never been responsible a day in his life. Like he just hasn't. He said the first time he had alcohol, he was 11 years old, and he loved it from the minute he drank it.
Really?
Yeah. That reality for me was like, shit. I thought alcohol was gross when I first tasted it. I was like, ew.
Me too.
I was like, it's not good. And then eventually like you learn how to like mix it correctly. And even then it's kind of like, it's like whatever. But the fact that he could at 11 say he loved the first drop of beer he ever had, I was like, damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, he's still at that facility, and the visits go 10-15 minutes long. I haven't seen him in a minute. But they go 10 to 15 minutes long, and I was just like, so I drive 2.5 hours to go see him for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I was like, just going to keep praying for you. Cause I have gotten a little bit tired of just like that constant, like there's always a fire that somebody has to, put out. It's like how you said, how it like becomes normal. And that's what my therapist told me. He goes, we have to be careful not to allow the things that feel normal in our life to be seen as normal, because those are not normal situations. And when you get comfortable in that chaos, you think that that's okay. And that's when you pick relationships and people in your life that bring you that same level of chaos. And then you wonder why you keep repeating the same thing over and over again. And I was like,
the same cycle of shit.
That makes sense. I'm like, so it's all the bullshit that I've gone through externally that made me think, because it's true. I mean, I got very comfortable in your brother is XYZ. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's in the hospital. They found him asleep outside of Lowe's in one of those sheds, and he was basically dead, frozen to death. And then we get to the hospital. He looked like the Michelin Man. Like he was like swollen. His body it was gross. Or getting dragged by a car because they decided to fight each other, and one pushed the other one out of the car, and the car goes over the fence, and then he shows up at my house and he's covered head to toe in blood, and there's blood. I think I found blood in my house for probably like 3 months after the fact. Sammy opens the door. My brother's pounding on the door. I was upstairs finishing a paper for my master's program, and we weren't expecting it. He had just left my house because he had stayed at my house for like a while. My other brother had picked him up, and then all of a sudden you just hear the pounding. And Sammy, I'm like, Sammy, go get the door. Sammy runs up from downstairs. He's being innocent, playing his game, opens the door, and he sees my brother with half of his scalp missing, like literally from here to the back, gone. No hair. You could see like inside his head. And then his arm was just road rash. The top of his foot was shaved off. All you see was the bones on the top of his foot, covered in blood. First thing out his mouth, he goes, I just killed Jesse, our other brother. And I was like, what do you mean you killed him? What are you talking about? He's like, I just killed him. And I looked at my ex-husband and I was like, you need to take care of this. Call 911 right now. I was like, I need to go find, I thought he killed my other brother. I was like, call 911 right now.
But they were the two that were fighting.
They were the two that were fighting.
Oh.
And so then I jump in my car and I'm like, I'm going to find him dead somewhere. And I literally like drove around the corner and there was an ambulance and I was like, this is him. This is him. And so like I pull over and like I ran up to the thing and I was like, is this my brother? I was like, where is he? And he was sitting in the back of the ambulance and he was fine. And they made me take him to the house and They took my other brother to the hospital, and then
Yeah, they switched them out.
yeah, and like who knows what the real story on that one was, but I remember that police officer looked at me and he goes, "Your mom just like committed suicide not long ago, huh?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You need to get away from this family. You need to get away from your family." Like he did not know me. And then he goes, "You're a teacher, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Get away from them." He's like, "They're not. This is not a good situation." And I was like, What a weird thing to say to somebody." And now as I reflect back, I'm like, this man was looking at it from an outside perspective. And he told me, he goes, he's like, "I can see you." He's like, "You have a good heart." He goes, "They're not
Good
good
for
people."
you.
Yeah. He's like, "They're not good." He goes, "They're gonna drag you down." He's like, "You need to get away from them." And I was like, and then I got home and Sammy did not want to see my brother like at all. So my brother called and he's like, "I need you to come pick me up." I was like, "I can't." It was the hardest thing I had to do. I was like, "I can't." And he goes, "Why?" And I was like, "Because you literally made it to where the sweetest person on the planet says he doesn't want to see you." I was like, Sammy was traumatized for years. And Sammy was like, "I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him." And so I told him, I was like, "You can't come to my house." So he, I think, spent that night walking around Walmart because he had nowhere else to go. Like it's crazy, crazy. And I was like, that was hard. That was a really hard holiday because it was Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, the next day was Thanksgiving.
That's heavy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But I mean, it's like I think people have experiences like that, you forget and then you move on and you're like, that's why I have people who know like the real side of my life where they're like, no matter what, you still find ways to like laugh and, be funny and you're not an asshole to people. I'm like, cause I get it. I know what that other side of that looks like. So, what'd you say? You said you were gonna talk about something.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you because and we could talk about it off the camera. It's okay. But yeah, that's just such a heavy start. I don't know where to go from there.
It is. So, okay. So, I mean, yeah, I know it's heavy. It's kind of where we go. I just got back from Nashville.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
fun.
crazy. It was crazy. It was not what I expected. I'd never been there before. And to be honest, I'd always kind of seen like the things on it, but I didn't expect for it to be the way that it was.
How many states have you been to?
Oh, good Lord. A lot. I think most of them actually at this point.
Probably
Yeah, I don't think where have I not been?
North Dakota.
No, I've been there. I've been
Really?
North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, Illinois, Massachusetts, New York, Maine,
Mississippi.
Mississippi, Tennessee, Florida, Louisiana, Texas. Yeah, I've been California, Oregon, Washington.
What's your favorite place that you've been to?
Um, I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, I think anytime I go anywhere, the ocean, the beach is always going to be my favorite place.
Nebraska. Have you ever been to Nebraska?
Yeah.
What?
We just went to go pick Jaden up from
Oh
there.
yeah.
Plus I would go through all the time. Minnesota, been
Massachusetts,
to Massachusetts.
Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, I fly in there all the time.
You've been to Atlanta before.
Georgia.
What is this? You've been to Louisiana
Yeah.
before. Oh, that reminds me. Have you ever heard of Shreveport?
Yes.
Have you heard about what 50 Cent is doing with Shreveport? Like how
Uh-uh.
he's bought a pretty much, long story short, he's bought a bunch of land in Shreveport and he's trying to build like a studio there and
50
contribute.
Cent is?
Like a Tyler Perry type studio.
Oh, okay.
Like huge, enormous, and film all of his things that he does at Shreveport. And his goal is to make a lot of money in Shreveport while also positively impacting that economy. So one of the things that he's doing now is he's having this big event. It's like a comedy slash music slash it might be some sporting thing going on there, because there was a couple boxers that said they were going to be there. Like it's a big event. And he posted this video on his Instagram. He's like, yeah, he's in the car. He's like, yeah, it's confirmed, y'all. Diddy's coming to Shreveport.
Oh my God.
He's gonna be there. Puffy's gonna be there. And then the phone, he keeps recording, but he puts the phone down. He's like, yeah, right. I don't want to invite him. Everybody's scared to put their drink down. And then everybody in the car is laughing. And he's like, yeah, fucking, you wake up, your butt sore.
Oh my God. He has no filter.
He doesn't. And it made me think about the Diddy thing because I'm like, people haven't been talking about that as much, but like, what's going to happen? Is nothing going to happen? Or is it done? Like,
Somebody was telling me that.
Because he just got on a plane somewhere, on a private jet somewhere.
Yeah, he's doing. I'm gonna have to remember what the conversation was, but he's doing. There's some. Oh, he was suing, Syrah, the liquor company, because he said they didn't pay him enough. So it sounds like he's having financial issues.
He
now.
is having financial issues because he's having to pay all these damn legal fees.
Yeah.
He's having to pay a bunch of legal fees. He's settled out of court a few times. No one is, or not no one, but it's hard to listen to anything involving Diddy's music right now. So he's making less money on his music than he was before, especially because he just spent money to record an album like last year. And for that all to happen to where, because he was starting, that album was starting to make some noise, and then it started, like, stories started slowly coming out, and the Cassie thing happened. It's like boom, and it's just crazy.
That's a true sign of karma.
Yeah,
You know, they say that, like, what you do in the darkness will always come to light. And my ex hated that saying, and it's because obviously he had a lot of things in the dark. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's crazy. I don't know. We saw I mean, all the political shit that's going on. Nashville had some stuff happening when we were out there. It's
That
just
whole
it's
thing is crazy,
insane.
too.
I think being out in Nashville, like I really enjoyed the people. I think I was telling you, like, people were guessing where I was from, and I thought it was funny that they were all guessing I was a New Yorker.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
President Trump is trending on Twitter right now. That's the state of what's going on. I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the world right now that I wanted to ask you about.
But I mean, the truth is that, like, I don't know. There were a bunch of men with like their faces were covered with flags and shit coming
Wait,
out
what?
walking the streets. What?
This says Trump just got shot in the head and got up like a fucking gangster and fist. This shit gotta be staged. This image is too oh shit. Stage shooting. Oh shit, that's why he's trending. Oh shit, that's crazy.
They pretended that he got shot.
That's what people are saying, that it's staged, but yeah,
That's not funny if they did that shit on purpose. That's weird.
it's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to rile his people up.
Oh my god.
Oh wow. That is what? Whoa, jeez, I don't know what to say to that.
Wait, let me see.
Hold on. It says It says breaking 40 minutes ago. Donald Trump survives assassination attempt, and then this is the video.
We are a fucking joke as a nation.
I'm trying to find the video of when it happened.
That's crazy. Like, that's crazy.
I've never I'm speechless. Wow. Oh my lord. My grandparents are gonna have something to say about that. They're both veterans, so they're both like really involved in the political state of affairs.
I have
An opinion.
an acquaintance that all she wants to do is talk about politics, and I get it. It's like people are very invested in it.
Really?
Yeah.
One of the ones we were talking about today?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah. And it's just, I think as time has gone on, the older I get, the less I give a fuck what people think about me. And I've come to realize, and I've said this to everybody, politics I don't get involved in. I don't stay ignorant to them, but I also don't become super involved, because the truth is we're all being lied to. No matter what we think, we're all being lied to, and they're going to do what they want to do regardless at the end of the day.
You see that
And
big ass spider on the wall?
yeah,
Should I kill it?
yeah. Like,
Keep going with that.
I know. But to me, damn, that thing is huge.
That was a big ass spider, man.
Yeah, that thing is huge. I thought you were gonna try and save it. I was gonna be like, Jordan, just kill it. Mm-hmm.
I'm Spider
But you're like, I'm the only spider in town. Yeah, that thing's huge. Oh, there it is. It's lighting.
That's crazy.
But yeah, no, like as far as like politics and stuff, I'm like, okay, I get it. There's a bunch of craziness and a bunch of shit is always going to be said. To me, the way I see like politics when it comes to, um, the reality of what's going to happen, it's a lot like when you first start talking to somebody. Like there's all this stuff that gets said, half of it never even happens. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean? And so I'm like, why are you? I'm like, why are you getting yourself all worked
I
up?
think that's funny. You put
Yeah,
it
I'm like, why are you getting yourself all worked up over something that very likely will never come to pass? And like they're saying it because they're trying to rile people up. And so I mean part of the ignorance of our country is the fact that everyone gets all up in arms and it's gonna get stupid. It's gonna continue to get stupid. It's just like I don't
that's
know.
that's crazy. I
The division is insane.
The division is insane and scary. It upsets me because I remember, like, obviously, I how do I explain it? Like, obviously, back when like Obama was president or the last few presidents before him, I was so young that I wasn't like as involved or like as privy to that whole world of politics and the state of affairs in America, but it never has felt this crazy ever. And in Colorado specifically, I have that opinion because if you're in Colorado, 9 times out of 10, you've migrated here for some reason. So there's so many different opinions
Right.
and like different walks of life, different like people that come from red states, blue states, that type shit, to where you really feel the division in a place like this because 1 minute you're talking to one person that falls right on this side,
Mm-hmm.
the other minute you're talking to one person that falls right on this side, and nobody's willing to become a melting pot anymore. Like it's not a big like contribution of ideas. It's less I feel this way, you're not changing my mind. Well, I disagree with you and you're not changing my mind
Right.
either. And as to I feel like before there was a time where people were more willing to listen to each other. That's the upsetting thing.
Well, because now it's not about the politics themselves, it's about who's behind it. And so like people don't even care what Biden is about if they hate Trump. Or people don't care what, you know, Trump is about if they love Biden. You know what I mean? Like it's not even about the real issues. It's about who is running.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you know it's like we got to scrap it and start over because like they should not be allowed to act that way. There was a thing I saw where they were showing the debate with when Obama was debating
Oh yeah,
did
I
you
saw
see the
that when he was
difference?
debating Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
And
And they're so polite. They're like, "Oh, well, he's doing a great job with this and this and that." And
but I will do
president,
this.
yeah,
Mhm.
but it was so respectful, and it was like, this is just stupidity.
Have you ever seen that video? It's a new one. It's of Trump. He's sitting in a golf cart, and somebody secretly recording him talking about Biden. He's like, he's a fucking idiot. He's just fucking stupid. He's not. He's barely even there. He doesn't even know what he's doing. And it's funny how he brings his New York accent out to me
It's
whenever he's like in certain circles versus like in certain places he doesn't really talk like that, but he's from New York.
yeah.
But he's like, he's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking dummy.
It's
I
just it's a joke. It's embarrassing. We're embarrassing as a nation, and I mean that's something like I don't get involved in it. I don't Like people were asking me all these different questions about it, and I was like, I just don't like the debate. I had no interest in watching it because I'm like, for what?
Yeah, this is.
Look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
That sounded like a little pellet.
It sounded fake as
Like,
fuck.
yeah.
And my thing is,
And when does he wear hats to his press?
every once in a while,
Does he?
every other time, because that hat is the design of that hat. You see somebody in that hat, and you're not gonna forget it.
I mean, that's an easy hat to hide something under, though, to pretend like you got shot.
Oh yeah. My thing is, here's my opinion, okay, and then we can move on to something else. But I feel like, as far as the Democrats are concerned, their ability to push messaging out is the worst. Trump is one of the best at pushing an agenda out, like at like weaving his way into getting his point across, no matter like by any means necessary.
Because he comes from it from an entertainment standpoint
and a business,
which is where most people now are. They get most of their news from YouTube, from Instagram, from TikTok. So the reason why he's able to do that is because he knows how to draw them in entertainment wise.
And my thing is, like, when something like this happens, if Biden was smart, instead of like, because I know he's probably going to put out something that says that he feels like bad for Trump, or he wants to investigate and see who did it, he should run with the narrative that shit is fake, because it's obvious it is. Mm-hmm. There's no one that gets shot if that was a clear assassination attempt, there's no one that's going to get shot in the fucking head and put his fist up. Like,
right. That's dramatic as hell. That's embarrassing.
Come on, man.
It's embarrassing.
If anyone on the other side says nothing, like alludes to that shit being fake, they're a bunch of pussies.
Oh, they're going to. They're going to. But I was also listening to them talking about Biden, and they're like, he needs to step down from the Democratic Party and allow somebody else to take over, because at this point, this is a narcissist situation, because he doesn't want to give it up. And it's like, I get it. He needs, and I've said this since he started running initially, I'm like, shame on him and his family for allowing this old man to continue to do this shit. He needs to be in a rocking chair at home, chilling, not trying to run a whole fucking country. And that's not in any way, shape, or form in support of Trump at all. I'm just saying that, like, he needs a nap.
More options.
He needs a nap. He needs to go to sleep.
There needs to be more options than just two people. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me why for so long, like, the more that we go on in history, the more privy that people are to like information. We have information at our fingertips. It's not like back in the day where it's as easy to be lied to. That's why now it's hard to know what's real, because there's so much information out there.
Right.
And it's just crazy to think about, like, why are we continuing to fall a line with, like, you either pick this person or you pick that person? Because I remember in 2016 when people started feeling like that. Yeah. It's like, you pick option A or option B.
Well, and when you choose someone who's independent, they're not going to get chosen.
They're not. You're wasted. But that's my thing. Is the fact that if there was a serious candidate and more people, like in the independent party, and more people were tired of the bullshit with picking one or the other, it wouldn't be as much of a thing as if you vote independent. Do you know why that won't happen? Throwing your vote away.
Because people are lazy. And all they know is that there's Democrat and Republican. They don't want to take the time to look at anything or anybody else, because that means that they have to read, they have to decipher, they have to separate the truth from the lies, and they don't want to have to do that because people are lazy as fuck. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm ready for this whole political bullshit to be done. I hate political years. It makes me uncomfortable. It's just not. I'm ready to like hear all the stupid shit. And I will intentionally stay off of, especially Facebook. Facebook gets ignorant as hell, and people. Oh my gosh, it's like. And I'm like, you're a grown ass adult having these fights over like stuff that is not even verifiable information. Like, I'm embarrassed for you. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think
The only form of social media that I hate is Twitter. I just like to go there to see what's trending currently.
Twitter's a mess.
Twitter is a
I
mess.
don't really mess with Twitter, but Twitter's a mess.
The only form of social media I like is Instagram, TikTok, and I don't even really care about TikTok anymore. I've been watching Instagram Reels a lot lately.
Really?
Hmm. It's more specific to me. And then Reddit, because I like to read Reddit stories,
Between
which I might
the stuff that Sammy sends me and the stuff that Tyler sends me and the girls, my For You page on TikTok is fucking weird.
That's why I don't like
'Cause I
TikTok.
get weird shit sent to me. Like Tyler
I
gets
find
all
it
his
hard to
like
get back to a normal place
Yeah.
on TikTok. It's
Yeah.
weird.
But yeah, so anyway, Nashville was cool. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely something I want to go back and do with a different crowd, with a different group of people. Just really get to enjoy, I think, the space. But it was cool. It gets to be, it's like Vegas though, where you're like 2 days in and you're out. It's like, okay, I'm cool. I'm done. I'm done. I had fun. I enjoyed it. It was fun getting to like hang out with Colin for his 21st. Like that was crazy. It's just the odds of that because we were supposed to be in Mexico and then that hurricane canceled everything. And so the fact that they were there, and because I was like, are you? Because I knew he was going to be in Nashville because his mom thought we were at the Morgan Wallen concert at the same time. And I was like, no, I was there the night before. And then I was like, are you excited about turn 21? He's like, yeah, we're going to go to Nashville. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to be in Mexico. Like I was supposed to be in Mexico. And then when that got canceled, we're like, where do we go? And we were looking at different places. Nashville was just like more reasonable, like priced.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, and I didn't know they were still there when we got there. I figured they would have already been home because they went, I think he said on that Monday. So they stay there almost a whole week. So I texted him. I was like, how is Nashville? He's like, we're still here. And I was like, I'm gonna be there tomorrow. And he's like, oh my God. So yeah, that was cool. It was fun to get to spend, his, like that day with him and his family. And it's chill. It's a cool vibe. It gets hot as fuck.
Just speaking of hot as fuck, it's hot as fuck right now.
Yeah. It gets hot as hell with the humidity and the heat. It just, yeah. It's a
I kind of
whole
prefer humidity though. I'm
Do
not
you?
gonna lie. I love it. I love the way it feels. My skin just feels it's just so dry here.
Mine too. I do enjoy the humidity. It's a lot more exhausting though.
Oh yeah, like
It
when
wears
you're
you out a lot
active, uh-huh,
faster.
'cause
Yeah. Yeah, you're just like, and then it's like you're just sweating and you just feel gross. Like I'm a huge overpacker. Like anytime I travel, I wore everything I took.
really?
Yeah. Everything I took.
That's
And it's
crazy.
funny because like in some of the pictures, it looks like I have like similar things, but I mean it's Nashville. It's like jean shorts and like, tank tops or cute like tops or whatever. I had a couple skirts, dresses, whatever. But I literally wore every single thing that I took. Cause like as soon as we'd get back to the hotel after like hanging out all day, I was like, I gotta change. I gotta change into something that like, cause you feel sticky and then like the stickiness gets like the dirt on you. And I don't know how people just like walk around a dirty hot mess because
Because they're a dirty hot mess and they don't care.
they're just a dirty hot mess. But yeah, no, that's been cool. How much time are we in?
53.
Oh shit.
That went by fast.
That did go by fast. I have a work trip coming up. I have a couple more trips coming up. I'm just kind of tired.
Yeah, I see.
I'm just kind of tired. I'm like, I really needed Mexico. I'm kind of glad it did get canceled though, in all honesty.
Mhm.
For obvious reasons, but
Mhm.
yeah, I need my Mexico trip. That always resets me. There's always something about just being in Mexico with you will not get better service anywhere. Like they treat you so well. It's amazing.
Everybody that travels has that place. I find that interesting to hear everybody's like place.
Where they love it.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm comfortable most anywhere. I will say one of my least favorite places just because of the people is Houston. They're just rude as fuck. Everywhere you go in
Really?
Houston. As soon as you get to the airport, like people don't want to help. I know people have said the same thing about Philly, but I've found people in Philly to be pretty cool. Houston has consistently the biggest assholes I have ever encountered. They just like you want to ask for help and they won't look at you. They give you the runaround. They tell you they can't do it. They're just rude. rude. And it's just it's consistent. It's just how it is every single time. So anytime I fly into Houston or I have to do anything in Houston, I'm like, just get ready for the bullshit. Just get ready for it.
That's crazy.
Like I think some of the nicest people I've ever met were in South Carolina.
Really?
They were the kindest
That's
people,
cool.
most helpful out of anywhere I'd ever been. Like just super, super sweet. Like I was like, where the hell are you guys people from? Like these are the kind of people I like, but yeah, I don't know. I'm I'm kind of looking forward to going to New York,
I
New
bet.
Jersey
I bet.
ish. I'm like ish. I have a lot I have to do when I'm out there, but it'll be cool.
It's worth it.
And then after that, Washington to go get attacked by Tyler's emus.
Oh yeah.
Those things scare the hell out of me.
Ugh.
Those are full on dinosaurs.
They are. They're creepy looking.
Yeah, they're full on dinosaurs, and so he's supposed to take me to some kind of an animal auction. We're gonna go look for a mini horse or a donkey.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah. I think it's funny because he always tells everyone, and he and I are like literally the exact same person. And he's always like, I'm like this because like you were born this way. Like we just made sense, but we're like the exact same person. So in so many ways. So I feel sorry for Laura because
That's a lot of energy. That's one big ball of energy.
It is a lot of it. Sammy used to get so annoyed with us. Like he used to get frustrated to the point where he would like go shut his room and just ignore us.
Because Sammy's like just so
he's
like
peaceful.
Yeah, just chill.
Yeah, he's just so peaceful.
All he wants is peace.
And so like
relaxation.
Tyler and I we're loud separately, but then together, oh my gosh, we just kind of get into our own little weird world.
So you go like this week at the 22nd.
I'm gone the 19th.
Damn, that's crazy.
And then I leave Jersey the 26th, and then I fly into Hobby, I think is where I'm flying into. And then I'll go see my aunt, and then I'm gonna go see a couple people in Texas. I should be back sometime in August. Why are you laughing?
That's crazy.
Oh, I'm like, why is that so funny?
Damn, so we won't be able to like podcast like until August?
No, I should be home for a couple of days in between there.
That's just crazy.
I know.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. And then I'm back. Yeah, I'll be back that week, and then I'm home for I think a week, and then we have a concert, and then I'm gone from the 20th until the 27th. I'll be in August.
Oh, what? Damn. So you could leave again in August?
Yeah.
That's crazy. The 20th to the 27th?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Damn.
Nothing yet for September, but we'll see because there's a California trip that's supposed to happen.
This year's going by fast.
It is. And then I'm supposed to be in Vegas sometime in September too.
What?
So yeah.
Why?
That one's more of a social one.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's
I fucking love Vegas.
It's been a lot.
Vegas is my shit.
I like Vegas. I've just done Vegas so much that it's always a chill spot.
I think it's just because I'm not there yet. I haven't like had enough Vegas experience to get tired of it yet. I fucking love Vegas.
You would enjoy so I'll be in Atlantic City because I have some time after our production party. So I'll be in Atlantic City. You would enjoy that. It's
when
really
are you
cool.
going to Atlantic City?
I'm going to be there the 21st.
If I could get a cheap ticket,
Look
I
at flights
swear,
and come out with me.
Yeah, because I'm off that whole week.
Are you really?
Yes.
Like this next coming week?
Like, because the 21st, that's the first day that my vacation starts, and I don't go back to work.
Because I have the only thing I have on that 20th is the production party, and then that 21st I have that whole day, and that's when I want to go to Atlantic City.
Because I've never been to Atlantic City
Atlantic
before.
City's chill. It's really, really cool. You would like it. If you can get like a decently priced ticket, like you should come out.
I'm telling you.
Because so Tyler was supposed to come out to go to the production party with me, which if I would have known you had time off, I would have had you go meet me because like they cover it. But now everything is like
Booked and
reserved
done.
and yeah. But that would have been cool for you to look at too, like the production party with the company.
Damn. Fuck. I should have told you the exact date.
I know I didn't know you were going to be off that time, but yeah, I'll be up there. I've got my rental. I've got
Damn. I really want to go. That's cool.
Atlantic City is chill. I haven't decided if I'm going to take the train or if I'm going to drive out. Just because I don't want to driving in freaking Jersey is crazy.
I was just saying I want to like take a train, like a passenger train somewhere. I've
The
never done that
train's
before.
cool. We took it from Philly to Atlantic City 3 years ago. And then we ended up showing up late to the conference on accident. But yeah, that's kind of my plan. I mean, I've done Atlantic City a couple of times. It's always a vibe. It's cool. It's just nice. You got the water, you got the casinos, you got amazing seafood. Oh my God, their food is so good.
I love seafood.
Yeah, their food is so good. So yeah, I mean, look at Tyler was supposed to go, but they're going to Hootie and the Blowfish.
Hootie and the Blowfish still are
I know, that's what I said too. But Laura
good for
loves
them, but I didn't know that was still
I
a
was
thing.
like, I don't know. He wants me to go. So they're huge Mariners fans. And so he goes, we can either go to a Mariners game or we can go to the Trippie Redd concert. I was like, I'm not going to the Trippie Redd concert.
You should go to the Trippie Redd concert for the story.
I mean, with my luck,
Something crazy would happen.
something crazy would happen. Yeah. And like, and you know this, the whole situation, like there's people in my life right now or somebody who's just like, oh, this stuff doesn't happen. And I'm like, not to the average person. Like, I mean, you guys know, you guys have been around me enough. You know what I mean? Like, I don't make this shit happen. It happens around me and to me. We just happen to be there when it happens. But yeah, I don't know what would happen at a Trippie Redd concert.
It's crazy to think about.
Like me and two gay guys at a
Trippie Redd concert. That sounds like the beginning of a joke.
It does. That's how like most of these adventures happen. And like I tell everyone, I'm like, because I had somebody the other day that was like, you just don't seem like you want to be bothered. Like your life seems so full, like there's not room for anybody else. And I was like, half the stuff that I do is last minute planned.
Mm-hmm.
You know that? Like all of a sudden we're just sitting here like, we should go do blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh, okay, let's go do it.
I love that. That's the thing. That's one of the biggest reasons why I like what we're doing now is because I don't normally have that in my life until I'm around you.
All the craziness.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, let's go to this one. Like,
let's go.
this is cool. And then I get my fix of that. And then my normal life just continues to be normal.
Yeah. Until like the next round of like random. And I like, I don't search for chaos. I think I'm just kind of like, I'm very much like, if somebody's like, let's do this, I'm like, I'm down, let's do it. Let's go check this out. Let's go, like, even if it's not something that I mean, I'm not going to do something I genuinely don't want to do, but if it's something I've never done, I'm like,
You're just willing to try new things.
Yeah, I'm like,
that's
let's
all.
go check it out. I'm like, why not? And then, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think a big lesson, this has been a huge year of lessons for me, but a big lesson that I've learned recently is that you know, it doesn't matter how long you've known somebody or, you know, how much history you have with them. Like sometimes you just outgrow people. And I realize that there's people I've outgrown and God has been slowly allowing them to be removed from my life. I always ask God, like, please remove people from my life that don't belong there, or that are trying to hold me back, or that have, you know, hate for me, or that are speaking behind my back. But please do it in a way that's gentle. Because I'm tired of like the hard like let goes. I'm tired of it.
Just let them ghost me.
Yeah. Just let it happen gently. And I recently have realized that there are some friendships I've outgrown. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think I've told you guys this, like this is probably the most peace I've ever felt in my life. And so to have anybody come in and disrupt that peace with their judgment of who they think I should be or what I'm supposed to be doing, or, you know, well, you do this, and that, and those like digs, that the constant digs. I'm like
backhanded
yeah,
shit.
I'm like, dude, I don't do that to people that I love. I don't even do it to people that I don't like. You know what I mean? Because I don't hate anybody. There's people that I'm just like, yeah, I don't prefer to be in your presence. But, you know, I'm like, loyalty and all that, the history and all that shit, it flies out the window the minute that you start disrupting my peace and that you make me feel like I'm wrong for being who I am. And it's like, if you don't like that and you don't like who I am, then stay the fuck out my life. Don't talk
That's
about
all.
me. Don't talk to me. Don't have an opinion about me in my life.
If you
'Cause the
don't have
truth
nothing
is,
nice to
yeah, it's
say,
like I
keep
have
it to
nothing
yourself.
to say to you. The other thing too that everyone who knows me knows that I'm very real. I'm not gonna like spoon or sugarcoat shit or spoon feed you shit. And there's people who can't handle that. And so I have flat out been like, if you can't handle the 100% truth, I'm not gonna be mean about it. But if you're wrong, I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. I think you're wrong. Because there's no growth in just being like, oh, Jordan, everything you do is right. You do nothing wrong. Like, that breeds narcissism. It creates people who genuinely think
Who
that
are
they
pieces
are
of shit.
yeah. Because they will never look in the mirror and be like, what's my responsibility in this? And so I have been a little bit frustrated at myself lately because I've allowed certain things to continue that I should have stopped a long time ago in the name of like loyalty and history and no more. I'm at a place now where I'm like, I don't have to tolerate that shit. Like, if you don't like the way that I live my life, then go live your life, because guess what? The minute that I turn that mirror on you, your reflection is so fucking ugly. Like, I can reflect things back to you you're not going to like.
Not at all.
And I can make that really, really hard on you. Like, the difference is your opinion of me doesn't matter, but the energy that those people take from you, that's what matters. It's like, do I give a shit what this person thinks about me? Absolutely fucking not. I don't care. But when you come into my life and you take energy and you don't put anything back into it, that's when I'm like, all right, it's time to close this chapter. No tea, no shade, no hate. I don't wish you bad. I just don't need you in my life. And it's like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And I've told several people that, where I'm like, I've had to let go of people in my life. Not saying that I'm perfect, because I'm not. We all know that. I've had to apologize for things, and I will continue to apologize for things that I do wrong and learn and grow. But when someone's judgment of me and who they think I am like gets in the way, that's when I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of done.
Yeah,
or
fuck
when
you.
it starts to remind me of, other people that have tried to bring me down. I'm like, I've seen this before. And I think that's the blessing in, I can say, situations that have happened in the past, specifically with my ex. The blessing in what I went through with him is that now I can recognize the patterns of that type of behavior so much better. So now when I saw it this go around, I was like, oof, this is familiar.
Experiences
Yeah, I'm like,
breed wisdom.
exactly. I'm like, this is so familiar. I don't like this, because I know where this is going. This is some gaslighting bullshit. And you're trying to act like you're saying this out of the kindness of your heart. I didn't know. I didn't mean to. No, you know what you're saying. You're a grown ass adult and you know exactly what's coming out your mouth. And you making these judgments on my life and talking shit and, this and that. It's like, that mirror, that reflection is going to be a hard one for you to look at one day. And that's something for them to carry. Like I said, I'm at peace with the people who've left my life and the people who need to continue to leave my life, because
fuck them.
Yeah. Because fuck them. I mean, truthfully, like, that's the long and short of it. It's like, you don't like the way that I live my life, or you don't like the way that people, react to me, or that's a you issue. It's like you're projecting your own insecurities onto me and you're trying to make me seem like I'm wrong for it. Like, no, fuck you. Like, I've been in that before. Like, I'm not falling back into place. But it's crazy because your body does tell you when you're in the wrong spot. Like, I lost my appetite. I was just like, I was telling Anthony, I was like, I'm mad at myself because I knew better. Lesson learned.
That's all.
No
Nothing
regrets.
wrong with
No
that,
regrets. Just lessons, no regrets. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. But I mean, shit, it's craziness. How was your overnight work? The shift that you did, was that hard?
It wasn't hard. It was actually kind of nice. It's just the only thing that was hard is just the schedule changing, because it went from because normally the type of shift that I work is Monday to Friday from 8 o'clock to 4:30. But Wednesday was the overnight, so I had to go from normally I would have a normal night, go to sleep, wake up at 8 o'clock the next morning, and go to work, to that Tuesday I had to either try to stay up or wake up Wednesday and then go back to sleep because I didn't have to go to work till 7 because I got off at 3:30 that
Yeah.
next morning. And then I was off all day Thursday. It was not hard. It was nice. The person that I work with currently, her and I have gotten really close. We've talked to each other about this. When I first started, we did not fucking like each other.
Yeah.
We did not get along. I didn't agree with her on anything. She didn't agree with me on anything. We both just didn't like each other because we didn't understand each other. And then my boss realized that she made sure that we were like, she forced us to do like different things together. And it got to the point where we're like work best friends. Like I enjoy seeing her every day. I enjoy working with her every day. She's off on Tuesdays. Usually on Tuesdays, I feel like kind of like, oh, I wish you were here. I wish I saw you. So that was fun, especially because when I first started, my first ever, I just realized this that day, I think, is when I first started at this job. My first day was doing an overnight because when they hired me, it was just convenient. Like the project was due for an overnight. So I was like, yeah, I guess I can do, because she gave me the options like, you don't have to do it, but if you'd like to, you can do it. And I'm like, I guess.
Yeah.
And then to think that now that I've gotten this new job that I've been talking about for months, and I ended this one, or I'm ending this current one that I'm in by doing an overnight. Like it's not the final day, but it's the fact that I'm doing it one more time. Like the 2 times I've done it is at the beginning of this job and at the end. Yeah, it's weird how that works.
That's cool. It's a full circle thing.
That's why I was like, and at the beginning, that first day, they just told me what to do and I just jumped in and helped, and we didn't even stay the whole night. Her and I barely talked because we didn't know each other. To now, it was like fun. We both looked forward to it.
Yeah.
We talked the whole time. We got stuff done. It's just interesting. And I was telling her, I was like, I just don't want this dynamic to change.
Isn't that crazy though? Like sometimes I have to eat because I get hungry, but
I love those.
How like sometimes the people that annoyed you the most end up being like some of your favorite people, like the people you don't like at first.
That's happened to me more than once in my life. Is where I've started, like when I met somebody and I'm like, ugh.
Kind of annoyed.
Yeah, that's funny you said that because I'm hungry too. We should get something to eat. What time does Sammy get off?
5:48.
But he's in Denver.
Yeah, it's gonna be a minute.
That sucks. But anyway,
we can go somewhere.
But yeah, it's just interesting to see like that type of dynamic change, because I remember being young and some of the people that I thought were like just shitty people end up being close friends with them, or like we get into a fight with each other. I've gotten into physical fights with people that have ended up to be like,
it's a very guy thing.
Oh yeah, girls
hold on to that shit for years,
decades. Yeah. My mom, she has people that she didn't care for in high school that she's still like, ugh. I could never.
No, those are those things though that I'm like, you know, people get nostalgic, right? And there's sometimes that people are like, oh, you know, do you talk to so and so? And I was like, dude, I didn't talk to them in high school. Why would I talk to them now as an adult? You know, like, let's be real. Let's call it what it was. Like, didn't have any hate for them, but I also didn't have any place for them in my life. Like, or the people that I genuinely was like, I don't really like them. They weren't that good of a person. For the most part, people don't tend to change that much.
People really don't change that much, especially like...
It's like we tend to give people a lot more credit sometimes than they deserve.
Exactly. Like, oh, it's been years. Like, you've grown up since then. No, you haven't.
No.
you're still an asshole.
Yeah, no, nothing has changed. You're still the same person. And you know, like, experiences and those types of things change, but it's like the people remain the same. People remain the same. And I think that that comes from a lack of self-awareness and reflection and really taking a look back. Like, I love when somebody from a place of goodness and kindness and love says to me, hey, like, Susan, like, this is like, you should really think about how you're handling this or how you're doing this. I don't get that a lot from a lot of people. My therapist is really good at it. But feedback from me has always been huge. Like, I love it because I love to learn and grow. And then there's people that you give them feedback and you give them the real feedback and they don't like it and they get their feelings hurt. And I'm like, why ask then? If you want to live in like ignorance and pretend like everything you're doing is right, cool. Live in ignorance. but you're kind of an asshole.
Yeah, because you're not willing to learn from your mistakes.
Like you think that everything you're doing is fine and that you're perfect because now all of a sudden you live a different life or you carry around a different, moral compass, but let's not forget who you were. Like your humility, like I've run into a lot of people lately where like that they forgot who they were and who they still are, where I'm like
you think you're better now, but you're not.
yeah,
And you should
yeah,
go
yeah.
back to like
It's
who
like,
you were so you
right.
can get better.
Right. It's like you don't even really look at, like, you sit there casting judgments and aspersions on everyone else. But you don't look at yourself.
Nope.
You don't realize that you literally are the thing you're complaining about. Like that shit is crazy to me. But live and learn, live and learn. My circle, I've said it over and over again. My reach is far and wide. My circle is small. And I've had several people in my life who have struggled with the fact that I know as many people as I do. And the reality is that like with as many kids as I've taught and have been close to, of course everyone is scattered all over the place. So my life now than what it was 10 years ago is different because I can go to almost any state and there's gonna be somebody that I know. You know what I mean? And so it's like, if you can't handle that part of my life, then you probably don't belong in my life. And not that I have to make it about everyone else, but like, shit, I'm sorry. Like if I'm in a whole other state and I know somebody there that like I've known since they were a child, fuck yes, I'm gonna say hi. I'm not gonna make it my whole trip, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I think I'm just learning how to like slowly just be like, you don't like it? Bye.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do
There's
the
nothing wrong with
jealousy.
that.
I don't do the competition. I've always said, I'm always so busy in my own growth that I don't even stop to pay attention to who thinks they're in competition with me. Because I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm in competition with myself. But I've never have you ever done that? Like looked at somebody and been like, I'm trying to be better than them?
Mm-mm.
Because I know a lot of people who do that. That
The-
comparison, that competition.
The only thing is like you have to take that, and maybe you see someone you admire and it's like, I want to learn from them so I can be good at what I'm doing.
That's fair. No, that I see all the time. I mean, that's why like,
But like be better than is crazy.
right, or even be like,
Be them.
Mm-hmm. I've gotten that, and I don't say that to sound cocky, but I've gotten that a lot where like, I'll help somebody out because I have a big heart for people. And so I'll help them out and I'll like guide them and to the point to where they get to a place where like they feel comfortable. And then it's almost like they think that they're better than me. And then they start to turn on me. And that's why I'm like, I keep my circle small for that reason. And it just so happens that like, small's relative, right? To everybody. Because to me, I'm like, I do know a lot of people, but the people that are in my life that know about my life, my day-to-day life, who I invite into my home, into my life, it's not a lot.
Not a lot at all.
Yeah, it's not a lot. I'm like, it's just kind of where it is, but it's crazy. A lot of lessons learned.
Mm-hmm.
I've been exhausted, like beyond tired. Just so exhausted. And then like the gym, I've had a lot of people reaching out to me, asking me stuff about that too, which I'm so passionate about, like fitness and health. And do you ever look back at your life and you're like, I know a lot about this topic, and you don't realize how much you've learned about it until people are asking you? You're like, shit,
I told you that's how I
know
feel.
a lot about this shit.
That's how I feel about like.
We should go to Illegal Pete's, by the way.
What's that?
You haven't been down?
No.
Okay, that's where we're gonna go get food because that sounds so good to me right now.
What is that?
It's like Chipotle but better.
Oh, the one that it just like opened downtown.
Yes.
You told me that. Okay.
Yeah, that place is so good. But
That
anyway,
sounds
sorry.
delicious. What did you just ask me?
Like, do you ever look back and realize like how much you know about something?
Oh, yeah, that's how I feel about like all of this video editing and like content creation and fucking like everything that I know how to do. I wouldn't have expected to learn how to do it because I always thought it was interesting, but I wasn't as like
Invested in it.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Because it's like if I just tend to think about if I knew as much as I did now about like video editing and content creation and like the type of tools that you need, different ways to make things work. Like if I learned that when I was like in high school, for example, I feel like I would just be even further along. Like it's just interesting to see. It's like just the different problems that we have to solve
Yeah.
on like just recording the podcast. Like
Right.
we learn something new every time. It's like, okay, this, like just with the mics and with the sound and how to edit the sound and the, like when I edit the podcast, how to make it faster each time. Because now when I edit the podcast, when we first started, it took me like 3 days. But now I can edit it in a day if I wanted
knock
to.
it out.
Because it's just I know all of the like resources that I need to use. So I'll keep all of them open. Like
Yeah.
the things that I use when I do the podcast is fucking is CapCut, what I edit on, YouTube, so I can get music and clips, like audio clips from, and then like Canva, so I can edit because I'll listen to the podcast first, then I'll take the thumbnail from it, and then I'll start doing like all of the actual editing of the podcast, because the thumbnail is always easier to do, and I know what type of tone, like if I want to, like for this one, if I listen to the episode, I was like, I want to make some of the serious stuff more funny because the thumbnail that I liked was a funny one. Then I know like maybe I can put some music in there and shit like that. It's just cool to learn. I just love learning about shit like that. And I've discovered how much I like learning in general. I've never learned to identify that, but that's why I identify with Sammy, is just I like knowing
I
information.
told you, I was like, you guys were gonna get along so well. I used to tell you that all the time. I was like, you and Sam are gonna get along so well, and you guys do. The reason why I like the creative world is because it's changing all the time. There's always something new, and so I think for me, I didn't always know that I like I don't know. I guess I've always known that my brain functions a little bit differently than everyone else, because like people always, the reactions to me, even as a kid, when I would say or do things, the reactions to me were always shocked. Maybe that's why as an adult, it doesn't seem as odd to me, because like I've been so used to that reaction even as a kid. When I would do shit and people would be like, and they would just start dying laughing. Like my dad, I think I get a lot of my personality. Obviously, I get it from both of them. My mom loved kids, loved clothes, loved cars. Hello, that's me. But my dad, his personality, that's me. Like my dad was always like, whenever I think about my dad, I don't know if you've had somebody really close to you like pass away, but like for me, like when I think about my dad, I can hear his laughter. Like I hear his laugh. Like that was my favorite thing about him. That and his smile. And I have my dad's smile. And like people used to be like, "Oh my God, your dad has like the best smile. It just like lights up the room." And the amount of people who are always like, "You have such a nice smile." Like, there was a lady at Carl's Jr. one day. I was going through, it was late, and she was like, "You have the neatest smile I've ever seen." And I was like, because people are grumpy. Like they don't interact with you like that. You know what I mean? Like they don't smile, they're not nice or whatever. But every time I think of my dad, like even as I'm talking about it right now, I can hear his laughter. Like I can hear that. Like it's crazy. And with my mom, what do I think about with her? I don't she used to get really excited over things. Like if you told her good news, she'd be like, "Yes!" Like she'd get really happy. But
I feel like from hearing you, I feel like when you describe your mom, it's more like experiences and like tangible things, like the way she dressed.
yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't,
and her likes and dislikes.
it wasn't even things that she taught us. Like she didn't teach us how to do makeup or how to do our hair or how to dress. Like
you just saw her.
I think like my love of clothes, but like I loved clothes differently than, like, she hated when the baggy pants were in with the big T. She hated that shit. She's like, it's so ugly. And so I'd wear the baggy pants with like the Yaga shirt and the what were they? The Filas that were like the I was going to say Velcro. It's not Velcro. Velour, like that. You know what I mean? Like those black ones that were big. And I had to ask. There was a shoe shop in the town next door. It's 15 minutes away, because we didn't have, like, we had a baby Walmart. Like we didn't really have like places to go shop. We'd have to like go into Pueblo and go to like Kmart is where we'd get our shit. But as I got older, then I was like making my own money. I was like, let me go buy my stuff that I like. And I convinced this guy. It's called Don's Shoe Store, and it's in Rocky Ford, and that's 15 minutes from Lahana, where I grew up. And I convinced him to order those shoes, because I was just like, it wasn't like it was like the internet and shit that you can just like order them. They come to your house, Amazon Prime. Like you either had to go to the store and find them or you just weren't going to get them. And so I was just like, can you please order these for me? I was like, I promise you people will buy them. Like, they like them. And he was just like, I don't know. He's like, all right, we'll try it out. And I think he ordered like 5. They were sold. They were gone that first day. And I got my shoes, and so everyone's like, where did you get those? And I was like, I got Dawn to like order them for me. So like, but she didn't teach me that. Like, I'm sure that like just you're a byproduct of what you see, right? And so really seeing her dress up, I guess, maybe, I mean, I don't know, I think I've developed that like over time. She was always good with kids. She was good with little kids though. She couldn't handle teenagers. She didn't like teens. I like teenagers. I like all kids. Like, I just think kids are funny in general. The fast car thing, I think I definitely got that from her. She used to love to race. She
Really?
Like, oh yeah, she loved
didn't know that.
racing. She would get like to
It's doing
the
it again.
end of the line.
I don't know how long it's been doing that.
We're getting kind of to the end of it anyway. All right, I think we should probably wrap up because I'm kind of hungry, and this is kind of slowing down.
Yeah.
But anyway, craziness. We will be back
Eventually.
when we get back. When we get back. And then we'll update on all the craziness. But yeah, it's been a minute. So what do we say?
Oh yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to us on the podcast app, give us 5 stars. We really love and appreciate that. If you're watching it on YouTube, make sure to comment down below. Let us know your thoughts, ideas for the next episode. If you want to see us do something different on this channel, even if it's not a podcast episode, let us know too, because I have an idea for that. I was going to tell you about that after the camera shuts off. But yeah, I think that's all we got. Thank you so much for listening.
Much love, always,
yes,
always.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. I know we got to get more shit out. We keep saying that every single time. It will slow down eventually.
Yeah, it's just,
and if it doesn't, you know what? It's just life. It'll be okay.
Our life is like a million miles a minute.
It
so
is.
We'll get there.
We make it work. We figure it out. But yeah, we love you guys. God bless everybody. Always stay safe. Please drive safely. And just know that all love coming from our end, even if we don't necessarily like you. No, I'm just kidding. All love always. But yeah, anyway, we're out.
Bye.
Bye.